not every game is remembered for generations to come. Some unfortunately fall into the depths of obscurity.
But either way, it's always totally terrifying.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 forgotten adventure games.
That's a good idea.
For this list, we're taking a glance at those adventure games that have disappeared from public knowledge, including games that aren't readily talked about or can be considered cult classics.
It seems I was once the wolf. Now, I am the quarry.
Regardless of quality, sales, or the pedigree of their creators, these games didn't quite become as well known as their competitors.
Come closer! Come closer! Not that close! I'm not a Who concert!
Number 10. Snatcher.
Snatcher is the only word that keeps coming back every time we try to remember our past.
One could say that this game was snatched from the spotlight. I'm sorry. Anyway, Snatcher was a cyberpunk-inspired adventure game directed and written by Hideo Kojima, creator of the, yes, Metal Gear series.
Sounds good to me.
Taking the role of an investigator Gillian Seed, players traverse the game's environments from a first-person perspective, and interact with objects to progress the fittingly complex plot.
I'm very sorry, Katrina. It's my fault your father's dead.
Gillian.
No, if I could have gotten there just a little sooner.
Though appreciated for its quirky references and the use of the visual novel style, the game's poor sales outside of Japan ensured that it became a curiosity to most. Such a shame.
Well, Seed, that was a pretty rough first assignment to draw. You made a great effort, though.
Number 9. Orion Burger.
Delicious, nutritious rodent kibble. Yum, yum. What the?
Time is the key, in this case. This obscure 1996 title focuses on Wilbur Waffelmeyer, just an ordinary pet shop assistant who gets kidnapped by an interstellar fast food company.
Greetings from all the nice folks in the Protein Procurement Division at Orion Burger Incorporated.
Fortunately, before he and humanity are declared fair to eat, Wilbur is granted the power to time travel, which sets up his crusade to stop the aliens and save Earth.
Looks like you could use a belt.
Alongside its fun time manipulation, Orion Burger also delivers full voice acting, giving it the authentic feeling of a zany Saturday morning cartoon.
Here, this little baby tells you everything you need to know about exterminating Borks.
Exterminate the Borks. Okay.
Number 8. Deja Vu. The life of a private eye is a hard and lonely one, but should you get the urge to experience it, Deja Vu may be up your alley. You are Theodore Ace Harding, an ex-boxer working as a private detective, who awakens in a bathroom stall with no memory of himself or the night before. The investigation into Ace's lost memory and his previous actions draws from classic detective stories, while slicing in the puzzle-based gameplay of an adventure game. It definitely makes for an interesting balance. Number 7. I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream.
I'll be damned. The engine's starting up again.
Some games are forgotten in spite of some impressive pedigree. Such is the case here.
My God, I'm killing those poor creatures in the cages.
Based on the 1967 short story by Harlan Ellison, I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream tells a frightening tale about a human-killing computer and the 5 humans spared for 109 years of torture.
That bastard's never gonna let us die. He's just gonna keep torturing us forever.
The game proper divides into 5 scenarios, sending each individual character into a metaphorical adventure intended to prey upon their fatal weakness. Add to that the grim themes of genocide and sexual assault, and the game not catching on in the 90s makes a lot of sense.
Are you saying that the doctors here have been using children for experimentation?
Number 6. Beneath a Steel Sky.
These guys are out to get me, but why?
Welcome to the Australia of the future, as imagined in 1994.
What kind of tours do you offer?
Developed by Revolution Software, Beneath a Steel Sky is viewed as a sort of cult classic in the realm of adventure games. It focuses on Robert Foster, an adopted member of an Aboriginal tribe whose circumstances change for the worst when security officers of Union City come looking for him.
That thing's watching me.
The game merges a comic book-like visual style, a complex tale of conspiracy and technological restriction, and a simple but effective point-and-click interface to create something unique.
He's a human bomb.
What are you talking about?
He's got a fuse in his mouth.
Number 5. Loom.
Rai Son of Cigna. It is the dawn of your 17th year. The elders await you in the sanctuary.
So, this is odd. This entry into the adventure game genre came to us courtesy of Brian Moriarty, creator of such games as Trinity and Beyond Zork.
His talent is awakening, and the power is very strong in him.
Loom tells the tale of Bobbin Threadbare, a child born of a magical loom who embarks on a quest to find his fellow villagers, who have been transformed into swans.
A swan's egg!
On top of that unusual premise, the game also swapped out traditional puzzle solving for the use of magical 4-note tunes. Perhaps the unorthodox design wasn't as endearing as initially hoped. Too bad.
No explanations. No goodbyes.
Number 4. Commander Blood. Oh, to be back in the days of DOS games. 1994's Commander Blood takes an interesting approach to adventure game design. It uses multiple choice conversations and has the player click through dialogue options to progress the plot. Said plot, for the record, deals with the manufactured clone Blood assisting his creator Morlock achieve his final wish, to see the Big Bang. And then there's the game's mix of computer-animated characters and live-action puppets. It's at once a fascinating and quirky product. Number 3. Neverhood. Speaking of quirky, a claymation-style adventure game we wouldn't have guessed. Taking on the role of the mostly mute character Clayman, players are tasked with escaping from a small room to explore the outside world, a surreal realm of plasticine structures and environmental puzzles. Its bizarre tone and unique style can be attributed in part to game designer Doug TenNapel, creator of the similarly offbeat Earthworm Jim games. Surprisingly enough, this often forgot gem did get a sequel in Skull Monkeys, which ended up being a 3D platformer to avoid the declining popularity of adventure titles. Number 2. Broken Sword. The Shadow of the Templars.
Life went on around me, but the explosion was to change my life forever.
Globe-trotting adventure and a story about Templar conspiracy? What's not to like? Well, there's certainly a few things to at least respect when talking about the first installment in the Broken Sword series.
It sounded impressive to me, but the weasel didn't seem to share my enthusiasm.
The Shadow of the Templars concerns itself with George Staubert, an American tourist whose vacation in Paris turns into an international quest for answers.
Can you tell me anything about this security pass?
I can tell it doesn't belong to you.
Mixing mature themes, a lighthearted sense of humor, and a classical animated visual style, this is most definitely a classic to be remembered.
Not everyone would share your views, Inspector.
Not everyone shares my passion for Bartok.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Do what I do. Gather up the clover leaves and the boxes. You need one box to hold each clover leaf.
Howdy, Brink. Welcome to the place where geology and astronomy meet. A professor once told me, astronomers are geologists with clean hands and a squint.
The majority of the donations were directly geared towards children and teenagers.
Uh-oh.
コロニーへの一般市民の移住に伴い、数十万の移住者たちの治安を守るため、俺たち5人の宇宙訓練を受けた警官が選抜された。
Number 1. Sanitarium.
Where am I?
Of all the games to fall into obscurity, this one may be the most deserving of a reversal of fate.
What game are you playing?
Tic-tac-toe. Wanna play? I'm the best there is.
Developer Dreamforge Entertainment's Sanitarium puts you in the shoes of Max, a man who awakens in an asylum after a car accident, and whose quest to recover his memories sends him to oddly horrific locations.
Are you serious?
These blood-sucking insects are bent on destroying the world.
The game's mix of subtle horror, grotesque visuals, and unsettling mood acts as a cover for a moving tale of loss, identity, and the uncertain nature of reality. Calling it a cult classic would be an understatement.
I know something that you don't. This is the village, stupid voice.
Chances are that due to the nature of this list, it's likely that we've forgotten or didn't know about certain adventure games.
I've got nothing more to say to you.
So, let us know what underrated gems you think need more love, and for more great top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.